Today's video is about how I spend $100 or less a month on groceries. I did a video recently comparing Millionaire expenses to average American expenses. And I mentioned in there that I only spend $100 on groceries. So I got called out on that amount. And I wanted to go over exactly how you can spend only $100 a month in groceries and still eat really healthy. I am Tiffany Thomas with WealthyTiffany.com, and I achieved financial freedom and became a millionaire. If you're looking to do one or both of those things, make sure and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and we're going to dive right in. I live in Utah in the Salt Lake City area, so that is where I am doing my grocery shopping. I have a Smith's really close to my house, so I do most of my grocery shopping there. I also have a Costco nearby, and there is a Walmart. I wanted to share a list of grocery items that I do purchase, and then I'm going to break it down for you and show 2 different days on what you could have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a snack. And I do want to emphasize that where you buy your groceries and when you buy certain types of groceries will make a really big difference, because sometimes the items are on sale. Maybe there are certain fruits that are on sale during different seasons, or even vegetables. And then also grocery stores will do a case lot sale. So they will have a lot of canned goods and oats and other things that are on sale. You can get really good deals on those items. So when you're doing your grocery shopping, make sure you are looking for items that are on sale. All right, the first item on my list is tilapia. I like to eat fish, and I like to buy this at Costco. They have a big bag of frozen tilapia for $16.99. And honestly, when I'm eating this fish, I will eat half of my fish, and then I will eat the other half the next day. So I'm not eating a full portion of fish. I find it very filling, even though it looks pretty small on the plate. It actually fills you up. So that would cost you 71 cents per serving. And then the next item is Costco's rotisserie chicken, which is $4.99. I love getting the chicken here because it is so much less expensive than buying it at Smith's or another grocery store, and it is so much larger, so you can get a lot more for the little amount of money you would be spending. So per serving for this would be about 22 cents. The next item I want to talk about is some quinoa packets. This is pre-packaged. You can get these at Costco, and they are kind of expensive, but I feel like they are a healthy item. So you can get about 18 servings. So the cost per serving would be 61 cents. And I wanted to throw this one in there for those of you that are looking for something a little more healthy than another side option I'm going to talk about later. The next item that I buy at Costco is their chunky peanut butter. Yes, I like chunky rather than creamy. Comment below and tell me if you like chunky better than creamy. And you can get a pretty good deal on this. You get 2 giant containers for $10.49. So if you are breaking that down into cost per serving, that's going to be about 6 cents for 1 tablespoon. The next item I like to get at Costco is the giant bag of tortilla chips. I love eating chips and salsa. And their giant bag is only $5.29, so that comes out to about 11 cents per serving. I also really like to eat different types of nuts, so I will buy the almonds, the big 3-pound bag of almonds at Costco, for about 1/4 a cup of almonds, which I sometimes just eat maybe like 5 or 6 almonds, so it's not even a 1/4 cup. But that will be 29 cents per serving for that 1/4 cup. And I also love eating those really tiny oranges. They are called cuties or clementines, I think. And Costco sells those in a large bag for $6.29. That would be 63 cents per serving, and that would mean you would be eating 2 of those cuties. And then one other thing that I want to mention that I purchased at Costco is their large bag of frozen blueberries. And that way I always have fruit on hand. And for 1/2 cup of blueberries, which is a good amount, it comes out to 26 cents. So let's move to Smith's. I buy a lot of bananas because I eat that for breakfast. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But their bananas come out to 23 cents per banana. And if you did shop for bananas at Costco, you can get them cheaper. And I like to eat tuna for lunch. I'll buy cans of tuna. And if you buy this in bulk rather than just buying 1 can or 2 cans, you can get it for $1. So for making 1 sandwich, it costs about 50 cents because I can make 2 sandwiches out of 1 can of tuna. And of course, you have to put mayonnaise in your tuna. And that is going to run you $5.49 when it is not on sale at Smith's. So for 1/2 tablespoon of mayonnaise, that's going to run you 5 cents. And I don't know why, but we did not really eat rice-a-roni growing up. and I started eating it later, and I know it's probably not the healthiest thing to be eating, but it is an inexpensive side dish. So you can get this for 31 cents per serving. And comment below and tell me if you ate rice-a-roni growing up, or what was that side dish that you always had. I know a lot of my friends had hamburger helper. I also never had that growing up either. And then of course a staple is bread, and I'm sure you can make your bread for a lot less money, but I don't do that. I just buy a healthy type of bread. It's like a Sprouts bread. So you could even buy a really less expensive bread if you aren't as health conscious. But for 2 slices of this type of bread, it will be 37 cents. I love eating fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. One of those vegetables is broccoli. And a serving of broccoli comes out to 27 cents. And then I also buy ground turkey at Smith's, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But that comes out to 31 cents per serving. I will also purchase spaghetti sauce at Smith's, and I like to buy the kind with no added sugar. So it is a little bit more expensive than the other brands, but this will come out to 20 cents per serving. And the reason I like to buy the turkey is to put in the spaghetti sauce. And then spaghetti is pretty inexpensive. It'll run you about 17 cents per serving. And I know I've talked about oats before. That's what I eat every day for breakfast. And you can actually find oats for a less expensive price than this, but I just looked to see how much it was at Smith's recently. And for 1/4 a cup, it's going to run you 6 cents. And I like drinking coconut milk. I like the unsweetened coconut milk. I've pretty much stopped drinking the regular milk, so this milk is more expensive. So you would be spending even less money if you are buying regular milk. But this will run you $3.49, and I don't use a lot of this milk when I put it into my oatmeal, and that's what I use it for. So that would be 11 cents per serving. I really love snacking on those sweet bell peppers, so I will buy a bag of those, and they are usually $2.99, but I have seen them on sale for less than that. But I put my price at $2.99. So for 1 serving, it would be 75 cents. And if you were like me in the fact that I like to eat raw vegetables, I also like to dip them in ranch. So I did put on here that you can buy a container of sour cream and then add a ranch packet to it. So a serving size, which would be 1 tablespoon, would be 7 cents just for the sour cream. And then the ranch dip packet would be 2 cents per serving. I love eating grapes, and my parents actually have grapevines at their place, so I have gotten grapes from them before. But if you do buy them at the grocery store, I only buy them when they are 99 cents a pound, because I buy them when they are in season. So for 1/2 cup of grapes, which is actually quite a few grapes, I think it's around 16 grapes, it's going to run you 20 cents per serving. A really simple snack is some Ritz Crackers with peanut butter, which we will talk about later. But if you buy the Ritz Crackers and you buy the bigger box rather than the smaller box, it's going to cost less. So for eating 5 Ritz Crackers, it's going to cost you 11 cents. I also love eating hummus. I will dip chips in hummus or even vegetables. And you can buy a larger container of this, which will be less than buying the smaller container, and that's going to run you 27 cents per serving. Comment below and tell me if you like hummus, and if you do, which type you like. I personally like eating the roasted red pepper hummus. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is salsa. Since I love eating chips and salsa, I buy the larger container of salsa, which is the 64 ounce. So this will run you 24 cents for a 1/4 a cup of salsa. And I'm sure a lot of you that are really frugal are thinking, Tiffany, you could make these things for a lot less. And yes, that's true. I'm just kind of lazy and I would rather purchase it. I know my roommate loves making hummus herself and she has let me try it and it is delicious. So giving you this list of items that you can purchase at the grocery store, you can actually get these things for less. And of course, there are a lot of other things that I eat, but honestly, I really do keep it pretty simple. Tell me in the comments below, what are some of your favorite things that you love to eat that are inexpensive? One thing I like to do is look at the nutrition labels when I am shopping. I look at the added sugars line and try to buy things that have 0 added sugars. It will help you stay full longer and it'll be more healthy for you. And I am not a nutritionist or a dietitian or whatever, but I know there are a lot of added sugars in a ton of pre-packaged items and people are not realizing it. So start looking at those nutrition labels and especially pay attention to the added sugars. Now that we've gone over a list of different items that we can incorporate into our meals, I want to break it down for you and show you 2 separate days and how much it's going to cost you to do that for a month. All right, let's break down the first day. So for breakfast, I actually eat oatmeal every single day for breakfast. So I will eat my oats. I'll eat a quarter cup of oats, which is plenty. So that's going to be 6 cents per serving. And then I will add some of those frozen blueberries. And I probably honestly don't add a half a cup. It would be more of a quarter cup, so it would be even less than this. But let's just say you're adding a half a cup and it's going to be 26 cents. And then I love eating peanut butter. That's one of my favorite things. So I will add about a tablespoon of peanut butter into my oatmeal. And then I will also add a little bit of milk. And then 2 other items that I didn't list out here are cinnamon. You could add some extra flavor with cinnamon and honey. And honestly, I got a huge container of cinnamon a long time ago from the food storage company that I used to work for. So I am still going through that container. And then I get honey free from a friend. He has a bunch of hives. So he does bees on his own and he has given me some honey. But you don't necessarily have to add those 2 ingredients. So for breakfast, it would be 49 cents. And then for lunch, I like eating that rotisserie chicken and I will just break some pieces off and eat it plain. So that would be 22 cents. And then we could add in some grapes to our lunch. So that's going to be 20 cents. And then let's say we want to have some chips and salsa with our lunch. So the chips would be 11 cents and then salsa would be 24 cents. So this lunch is a little more expensive than breakfast. It comes out to 77 cents. And let's say you want to have a snack throughout the day, so you can have some almonds, that's going to be 29 cents. And then for dinner, let's say we want to have that tilapia, which will be 71 cents. And then some rice-a-roni, which is 31 cents, and then broccoli with it, so that's 27 cents, for a total of $1.29 for dinner. The total amount for that day would be $2.85. And let's switch over to another day that we could do. And for breakfast, I did oatmeal again, so the oats would be 6 cents. And then this time I did a banana, a full banana, and that is 23 cents. And then adding peanut butter at 6 cents plus the milk at 11 cents gives us a total of 47 cents for breakfast. And as we are going through this, think about how much money you are spending on eating out. It is so much more than buying your groceries and eating at home. Okay, let's move to lunch. Today for lunch, we are going to have a tuna sandwich. So the tuna is 50 cents, that mayonnaise is 5 cents, and then the bread, 2 slices, is 37 cents. And then we're going to have some sweet mini bell peppers with our lunch, and that's going to be 75 cents. So it would be $1.67 for lunch. And then for a snack, we're going to have Ritz Crackers with peanut butter, and that's going to run us 11 cents for the Ritz Crackers and 6 cents for the peanut butter, so that would be a total of 18 cents for a snack. Think about different items that you are snacking on, especially if you are stopping at the gas station and running in to get a quick snack. I am sure that it is more than 18 cents. And then for dinner, we are going to have spaghetti. The spaghetti will be 17 cents per serving, and then the sauce we put on it is 20 cents, and we are adding the turkey to it. That's going to be 31 cents. And then let's say you want to have a slice of toast with your spaghetti. That's going to be 19 cents. The total for day 2 is $3.17. And for me, the items on these lists actually fill me up. And if you're thinking, there's no way I could just eat half of my fish. I get that everyone is different and we eat different amounts and we need a different amount of calories. But for me, this works. And even if I'm going to Zumba in the morning, I will eat just a few almonds and then half of a banana. And then I'll eat the other half of the banana in my oatmeal. And then later I'll have a few more almonds, which would then equal that total amount of the serving size. You can really find foods that are going to be filling and nutritious and still don't cost that much money. All right, if we add up these 2 days, and this is what I did. I took the day 1 for $2.85 and I multiplied that by 16 days, which is going to give us $45.52. And then day 2, I took that $3.17 and multiplied it by 15 days. That's going to give us a total of 31 days, and sometimes there are only 30 days or even less in a month. So I'm going with the largest amount possible, that 31 days. And if we add those two amounts together, the $45.52 plus the $47.59, that gives us a total amount of $93.11, which is under the $100 per month. And of course, I will incorporate other things into my meals, but I wanted to show you just a quick breakdown on how it is possible to live on $100 a month for groceries. And since we are only at $93.11, I could add in extra servings of almonds or peppers, or I can switch out the grapes and put in the oranges. There's different things that I could do, and we would still be around that $100 mark. And of course, we could make things ourselves, like the spaghetti sauce or the hummus, so it would be even less expensive. I wanted to share this video with you so that you can see you don't have to spend a lot of money on food. And even if you decided to double these amounts and have a $200 food budget, that could be a lot less than what you were already paying. The more that we can lower our expenses, especially our food expense, because that is usually one of the top 3 highest expenses that Americans have, the more money we will have to invest, and that way we can become financially free even sooner. And just to give you a few more ideas regarding groceries, make sure that you try and save everything that you have. If you buy a big thing of broccoli and you've only eaten half of it, then cut the other half up and put it in the freezer, and that way you can eat it later. And if you have scraps from vegetables that you have cut up, you can also put those in a bag and put those in the freezer and then add them to a stew later on. Make sure to go through your fridge and your freezer and see what is going to expire soon and eat it. Eat the food that you actually have. I know that Americans waste a lot of money on food, and it's not just because they are eating out, but it's because they've bought groceries and then they haven't eaten them. You can also go through your entire pantry, pull everything out, and see when it expires and make a plan, make a meal plan, and start eating all of that food so that it doesn't go to waste and your money doesn't go to waste. And crock-pot meals are really easy and inexpensive to do. I know I've made taco soup a lot, and that's because I've bought a lot of canned items at a case lot sell, and I can just throw those in the crock pot. And it would be way less than the normal prices. So don't forget to buy what is already on sale and what is in season. Another thing is I've signed up with Smith's reward program. So every single month they send me coupons and they tailor it to what I already spend money on. I've gotten a lot of coupons for a free carton of eggs. And then they will send me 40 cents off peppers or broccoli or avocados, whatever it might be. So I use those coupons. They are sent to me directly in the mail. I'm not searching through a whole bunch of different ads, trying to find coupons and cutting them out. And then I will buy those items when I go to the grocery store next time, if I need them, of course, because I'm getting an extra discount on them. So make sure and sign up for the reward programs at different grocery stores. Something else to add is if you have not planted a garden yet, you can always plant a garden. You can just do containers. You don't even have to have a huge lawn to put a garden in. But that's what I did this year, and I have a lot of tomatoes out there, and I have some peppers. I'm also growing a watermelon and a few other things. It is a lot cheaper to buy the seeds and then plant them rather than buying the vegetables and trying to buy when they're in season. Another way to save on food costs is to eat less. 38% of Americans are obese. We are eating way too much food. Comment below and tell me what your favorite healthy item is to purchase that is inexpensive. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you want to see even more content from me, check out the videos on the side of the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.